Hello, everybody. I know I'm a little bit early, so I thought I'd just pop on a minute in advance just to get everybody on who might be coming on before we start. I think there'll be a couple of you coming on, so I'll give it a few minutes just for people to connect. Okay, I can see you. Actually, Kay, can you just do me a favour and just do a pretend type question just so I can see? I'm on my computer tonight and I want to see if it works as effectively as the phone or not. Otherwise, I might have to do a quick switcheroony, but I think it should work. So if you could type me something, I'll see what the delay is and we'll see if I get it quick enough for the chat. So welcome whoever's coming on. Let me know if I know you. Hi, Josh. Great, Kay. Yes, I can see comments. That's good because I just wanted to double check because I don't often do live on the computer, but I just felt tonight that I had to. So here we are. So, yep, so we'll just wait and wait for a few people to connect in. This will be on the page indefinitely or as long as I feel. We'll just see how we go. But yeah, we'll just give it a bit longer. So if you've got to get a drink or something, do whatever you need to do. And we'll get going in a minute or so, I think. We'll give it a little bit longer. Hope everybody's well who might be just passing through, having a quick watch or moving on. Hi. Hi, Tegan, I can see you. Thanks for coming in. Nice to see you all, even though I can't. So, yeah, big times, huh? Big times. So, yes, there's a few more coming on. Welcome, welcome, everybody, whoever you all be. Thank you. And I certainly hope tonight will be informative. As I said, I will certainly be intending to explain my truth, which I will also explain shortly. But this is an open forum too, so I am absolutely open to questions. This is the idea because I don't want anyone confused and just unsure. Let's clarify, let's move forward, let's get our bums into gear and let's get some good stuff happening in our world. So that's the intention here. And of course, the greater understanding. Okay, so we've got a few on, that's lovely, thank you. I just had a crystal fall down out of my top, which I will now keep in my lap. Okay, well, look, we might get going. It's 7:02 and we'll just cruise along as we do. Okay, so as I said, big times. I know there's probably lots of people out there doing live videos. I know there's probably lots of information out there for you. I'm not saying my information is any better. That's ego. I'm not doing that. What I am here for and what I feel is my role, my journey, my mission is to offer the truth, my personal truths. And as with anything, as I wrote this afternoon, if you've read my post, please discern all that you hear, all that you read, especially in this current time. There are a lot of energies flying around. I can tell you there is a lot of chaos, as we know, and fear is profound. Okay, so tonight we are going to talk a lot about fear because I feel this is a really important time now to step up in the understanding of what is actually energetically taking place, to look within your own being, your own world, and then, of course, on that greater collective level for the earth herself. So first and foremost, I just want to go back a little bit in time. So to give you a bit of perspective, what's actually taking place. The first point of call tonight is please, somewhere deep in your hearts, know that this is absolutely okay. All that you are witnessing, all that you're experiencing, all that you may witness coming up in the near future, all is in divine order at the highest level. We might have difficulty understanding that, okay, I get that, but somewhere trust in that path of your being. Somewhere in your heart there is a space that knows the truth. Listen for it, feel it, don't think, Okay, let's just stop thinking at the moment. There's a lot of words, there's a lot of propaganda, there's a lot of fear mongering. So again, we must detach from that and keep coming back to here in your quiet space. And we're going to allude to a little bit about your quiet space later on too. So as I said, you know, the grander picture is in place. Now, I'm not saying, wow, look at me, woohoo, you know, look what I have to tell you here. But my reality is that I have been walking this path and walking this road for over 20 years, and I have been doing that diligently when there wasn't even a reason that seemed to be the purpose or something close or anything major was happening. There were in times when no one was really, really awake, or there was a few areas awakening. So it wasn't an easy path. Okay, but again, as I said, that's not a poo-poo victim part of me. This is just to give you an understanding. So when I come here tonight and what I've written today about the wondrous 5D that we're now entering is because for 20 years, this is the moment that truly I and many who have been forging the paths have been waiting for. Now, as I said, while it may look chaotic and disruptive, and it does, on that high level, this is perfection in design, and we are entering a phase of energy unprecedented. We've never done this in physical form before, so we need to be kind and gentle to ourselves. The parts of today, in this current moment of now, for me really, really took place and commenced and hit their high note and their movement forward on the 11-11-11. Okay, so we're going back a little bit here to give you a bit of an idea. 11-11-11. Now, what happened there is we must now know from this point on to really navigate your way through, to find the sense of peace within your being, to find and comprehend the greater structures and issues that are taking place within and around you. We all must try to get a concept on energy. Truly, this is your savior. This is your saving grace to seeing simplicity, understanding, normalcy as best as it can be possibly be for you. But energy is the path forward because everything is energy. You are energy, I am energy, the world is energy, the earth mother is energy. Electromagnetic, and now we were electromagnetic crystalline. Okay, so we've advanced. Now with those energies in the earth mother, and has been since the eons of time at the beginning of this school of education. Okay, so I'm going to be throwing some other truth bombs in tonight that you may or may not have heard of. Deal with them, challenge yourself with them, challenge me with them, feel them, discern them, do whatever you wish with them. But almost as an experiment that this has been and is. Okay, from a higher soul level, we chose to come. As energetic beings, we arrived into this earth as such that we perceive as earth. But again, the reality is she is not all dense that we have come to believe she is. She is a series of codes of light, of sound, of energy fields. So for us to even be upon her, within her, and join her, we have to match her. We have to be of like frequency, and we are. We are electromagnetic beings, and now we are turning into crystalline beings as she is now. So again, how energy works is vibrational matches, resonance, alignments. So when we are in alignment, we are at peace, we are smooth, we are flowing, we are in harmony. When we're not, we have friction, okay? And this is known through science books, this is known through physics, you can go to quantum worlds, you can go wherever you want. All these things are written down for you. This is not ooga booga, okay? This is science. And this is why I love it, because it's a marriage of physical and metaphysical when you understand energy. Your greatest form of energy are your thoughts, okay? Not from the brain, but from the mind. But we haven't even truly discovered yet the capabilities of all that we are. And if I could ever show to you who you are now in this mirror that you may look upon tonight, you are but one tiny thread. Think of yourself as one tiny filament, this earthly sojourn you are on as your name, your journey. In the midst of this incredible spinning wheel of multiple filaments of threads of light that you are right now. But one thread chose to descend down into the earth to have this game. You knew the game. You knew the contract. You signed up to come. Absolutely, no doubts about it. You said before you entered, I will remember. This game was different. This game was the end game as we know it. The end game not of destruction, the end game not of cataclysmic outcome, but that was visited as a collective for some time, right through the 1900s, but was changed in 1987. We have changed and agreed collectively to transition from third-dimensional dense structures governed by duality and ego that we chose to play in and experience. We are now moving to the higher fifth dimensional, which was the bigger plan. We were always going to go there, back home, back towards our right home, wherever in the cosmos we have come from. And we've come from many varied places across the galaxies. We chose and we knew this was the lifetime that we were going to truly awaken. We were going to remember all that we truly are, that we are not this shell. This was just merely a perceived illusion. I'm going to discuss that after. An illusion to get you through this game. We just chose to make it very, very dense. And we chose to take duality to the nth degree, and we forgot. And we truthfully weren't meant to be this dense. So we are now in a process of undoing. The bigger picture, our Father, Mother, Source, God, Allah, Buddha, Creator, whatever name you want to give it, it doesn't matter. It's what you can resonate to. The Sun will do. Father, Mother, Son. Whatever you like. Father, God, Moon, whatever. Your source, your parents, your energetic parents who have governed this game, which we are all extensions of. We have all been birthed from the same source. Told us in this time, you are all coming home. You are all going to remember, and we have chosen the pathway home through consciousness. Now, as I said, this is unprecedented. This has never been done before. Nowhere ever has anyone crossed over the veil through the process of death, remembering very, very few, the ascended masters, yes, and many sainted ones. But the majority of the population never has crossed over through the process of death and known what was happening, known their life right over to the other side until they got over. And it doesn't stop on the other side because your energy, and energy can't be destroyed, that's science. So we keep evolving, we keep growing, we go back to our homes, we go through temples and teaching, and we review and we revisit what the journey was, what our teachings or our lessons were to remember that we forgot. As I said, this time we're being asked to remember, and we are remembering, absolutely. We are awakening, and we're being assisted by that by the light, because the Earth Mother is now in fifth dimension. Okay, so taking you back to the 1111, I know I might jump around here tonight, but Spirit I know is talking through me. Archangel Metatron's already told me tonight he's flowing through. And I feel there's somebody standing right here beside me as well. So, an 1111, as I said, the Earth Mother is energy with lights and codes, and she is fields of magnetics. She is a whole range of templates of energy, you name it. You know, to really comprehend this, I would be lying to say I understood it, or how could we? How could we at this level? You know, it doesn't matter how much knowledge we think we have. But she is a field of energy. So she too is a soul. Let's not forget this. She's not just this thing that said, oh, come and play on me and I'll just support you. She is a soul that said too, I am going to evolve. I am going to be finished holding this space for you for the last X thousands, millions of years. The game is now ending, and I too am going to expand and evolve back into my rightly home. So she's been on the transit. Now in 111111, as I said, she's filled with codes of light, and part of these codes of activation come on with the higher lights coming in from the cosmos, from source, in preparation for movement. Now, this all started on the 111 as we changed into the new millennium. All those triple dates were special codes that activated certain codes in the Earth Mother's fields to illuminate, to illuminate, to illuminate, to accelerate and get movement rising and vibrations rising. And so things started to change. Okay, it was slow though to begin. It wasn't as obvious. By 11/11/11, and many of us read and knew that the 21st of the 12th, 2012, had been denoted as the end of civilization as we knew it. Many were predicting doom and gloom. Mayan prophecy was around. There was a lot of, again, propaganda, misconstrued ideas. It's basically, it was the end of a consciousness era on that date. So in preparation for 2112, we had 11/11/11. That was the date that for me was pivotal, because on that date, all the codes in the Earth Mothers that supported you and all of us in the game of duality, okay, fear, V, love, light and dark, good and bad, all the complementary opposites, all the codes of fear were switched off. So in that moment, from that moment on, none of us was supported in and through our fear-based belief programs. Now, I can tell you back then there was massive change overnight. Many went straight off the air. There were people that were just like, what's going on? And some really were affected. It was a really profound moment of energetic time. So from the 21st to the 12th, this was the end of the old Piscean era. And now we moved into the age of Aquarius, the age where we were coming back into grace, love, unity, equality, harmony, and most of all, oneness. Okay, so what's that mean? Well, from the 21st to the 12th, the next year is what's called a 0 year, because it's like when you were born, you weren't born 1, you had your 0 year to turn 1 the following year on your birthday. So that 0 year was 2013. And if we count up accordingly to now, we are now in the 9th year since the great shift of awakening. Now, throughout these years, I can tell you, I have watched many, many souls, many coming online, much change taking place. But the last couple of years and even the last 12 months particularly, I have seen an amazing wave of new souls coming to the party of awakening and bringing some incredible wisdom and information with them. And this is where we're moving. Our babies that are coming in wiser, they're coming in totally energized, they're coming in with incredible wisdom, and they're doing their job in holding and supporting the shift and the changes for us oldies who have still density to move through and to understand. So what's pivotal for me is that right now, and it's no coincidence as we know about anything, 2020 for me says clarity vision. You know, the old saying, you've got 20/20 vision. Let's look at that, because the Earth Mother and sayings around us are vital clues, okay? And we might think, well, that's simplistic. Great. Spirit is simple. The truth is simple. Energy is simple. What you get confused in is facts, figures, knowledge, wanting to know, ego getting out of control, which is aim, and its purpose is truly to confuse you. And it's very good at that, okay? So this 9th year that we're in now, if we count up from 2011, is that we're now in a completing year, 2021, which will be on the 11/11, again, 11/11 of this year, that I believe will be completing a major time shift again. And so this year for me, which is when we add up the years when we're in a 7 year, so don't get too caught up in this, but a 7 year is all about transformation, transmutation and transformation. And this is what this year is about now, okay? So we are purging. We are going to be purging and purging and purging. Now, again, I'm not saying this is not I told you so, but I would love you to take note. For those who are really working diligently, consciously with their energies, violet flaming, even just acknowledging fear within, challenging the self, the path, I'm sure if you notice, has been far more gracefully of late. You cope, you are able to understand easier, you are able to detach easier. The key is now, whether we like it or not, and this physical's kicking and screaming all the way, which is the ego, not the heart, okay? The heart is simply sitting deep within you, as it always has, going, you got this. You've signed up, you know what to do, you've got all the answers, just settle back, just relax and just breathe through, trying to connect to me. I'll show you the way. But what blocks you is this. Okay, we know that. And we're seeing that now. We are seeing all the blah, 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 blah out there with everybody going crazy because this year, more so, okay, we've hit this 2020 year. We've hit this incredible new decade, taking us further now into 5D. But what's happened, okay, to assist this new shift of this new decade is that of the 12, 12, 12, we had a date. The numbers added up of 2019 to a 12 at the end. So we had another 12, 12, 12 that occurred last year. Now, around that time and right up till the 12th of January, just gone, we had the most amazing astrological time. We had the most amazing eclipse moments and corridors. We had the most amazing intensive energies that were coming through, and I know we all felt it. The energies coming in, this is where we go back to our understanding of energy. When energy is coming into your body, guess what? At the physical level, you're not controlling it. Your soul is. Okay, your soul's running this show. Your higher self combined with your Holy Christ self and your greater causal self are all running this show for you. Okay, so your soul has dictated and will continue to when you are going to awaken, when your cells are going to be switching over to higher frequency mode of remembrance, when your 12 strands of DNA are coming online, when your 12 chakra system is activated, and they all are now as of the 12, 12, 12. Okay, your 12 solar deity suns are in action. This new figure of 12, profound number, is all active in everybody right now, regardless of who you might perceive, good, bad, less than, awake, unawakened, doesn't matter. It's not about you and your perceptions and your opinion and your ego. It's about the soul. And I can tell you, unless you're very, very, very psychic and you're really, truly heart-centered in your being, most people cannot see the other person's soul journey, and nor should we. So again, let's pull out. Let's bring it back to here. You're only here to be concerned about you. That is the mission. So as I said, when light is now permeating and pouring into this earth plane, you are not distinct and separate from her. We are of her. She has birthed us energetically into this reality perceived. So as the light comes in, your cells must make room. They must be able to contain this incredible energy that's coming through. Now, as I said, if you're being diligent and you're looking after your energy fields and your conscious, and be it flaming or be it just releasing or however you might be doing it, it doesn't matter. There's no wrong or right. It's your intention to. That's what is important. Your intention to release, to understand, to feel your way forward. So the transition when you're doing that is far more easy and graceful, because as you release, you're giving space in your cells for the light to come in and to encode and to be held and to activate. Now the issues come, and they're coming now, because the light's pouring into everybody, but many are still very unawakened or non-awake, and many are still resisting, I can tell you. And so here we have this ambivalence. Here we have this frictious energy moment of pouring light in, but the ego in its fear base, because that's all it is, and its greatest fear is death, I can tell you. The ego is struggling in its might because, and it's only a consciousness, okay, that you created. We all created it. It's a consciousness within us that knows its day is nigh. And so it's like anyone that's trying to hold on with gritted teeth. It's doing that for many. And so fear is just rising to the surface, and the light is now pushing it to the surface. It has to come up to the surface to be witnessed, to be experienced, and to be felt. Because I can tell you again, I cannot begin to tell you how many people over the years when I've said, what are your fears? What fears have you got? You know, let's look at them. I have none. Oh, I don't have any. I have no fear. Okay, let's break that down a little bit. Have you got doubt? Are you unsure? Do you get confused? Do you feel thrown and flustered at times? Do you get angry? You know, these are all aspects. Are you in judgment? Are you in blame? These are all the lower energies that fear is attached to and it is directing. So again, we must be looking to ourselves. So here we have this situation where now we are in 5D, as I said, and the light is profound. It is unprecedented. Pouring in upon this planet, absolutely, and upon us. And so we're under the pump. Stuff is coming up to the surface in our being, how we feel. We might be having flashes of thoughts. We might be having layers. We thought, wow, we've worked through that. What's this? Here's another layer coming up, okay? We will keep processing and processing and processing. Because the other thing, as I said on the 12/12 of last year, was that the fourth dimension, because when we finished on the first 12/12 after the 11/11, excuse these dates, but we're going back, that first 12/12/12, that was the end of third dimension. Then we shifted to fourth. So we've been transiting through fourth, okay? Maybe some lower fragments of 3 in the first initial early years, but mainly fourth. Now after the last 12/12/12 and into this 2020 time, we have now collapsed all 3D and 4D matrices. Gone. So that means this is where fear is even more profound, because any tiny aspects of ego that may have been able to hold on to fear can't any longer. 5D doesn't allow it. It just doesn't recognize anything less than love and unity of heart and mind. And ego does not represent any of that. So here we are in this incredible window. Okay, so again, where you can, feel what's coming up within you. Own it. Don't judge it. Don't feel bad. Don't feel shame. Don't feel guilt. Please, these are the old energetic issues of the ego. We don't want to go backwards. Okay, just see it for what it is. You don't even have to tell anybody what you're doing. You only have to be honest to you. Be truthful to you to feel your way. Feel what comes up. Allow that. Try not to, my advice is try not to do it through here. Try not to process everything through your head, because ego is so clever and so insidious and so subtle that it's in there and it's distorting information, it's distorting truth, distorting you away from the truth in the heart so easily you haven't even recognized that it's there. Trust me, I know. I've had to discern all this over many, many years. I know how insidious it is, and it's amazing. So how I've come over the years for me, and I used to, and this is my big mantra for tonight, please don't fear your fear. Please don't fear this fear that we're seeing in the globe and around us right now. Because when you're fearing the fear, you are adding to the fear. You are giving your energies, you are giving your focus of attention every time you read, you watch a paper, you listen on Facebook, you listen to the news, you hear these stories, blah, de blah, you're in the supermarkets. Become the observer as best you can. Detach, 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 detach. Make this symbol your new symbol everywhere you go. That means cutting your energies free. Cut, 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 cut. With love. Not from fear. Oh, no. But with love. Aha. As the observer, you get to say, wow. As I did on Sunday at my local Woolies. I felt it before I saw it and walked in and went, whew, and I'm in my bubble, I'm in my violet, I'm in all my triple, you name it. So I'm in my maintenance work, my shields. But whew, it was overwhelming. And so again, wherever you go, be the light. Take your light. Flame the place, because this violet flame is your ally. It is your greatest gift right now. The violet ray is specifically designed and programmed for transmutation and transformation of alchemy tool of all lesser energies into a higher frequency immediately. Why wouldn't we want to use it? So in the supermarkets, flame. Anchor the violet in there. Do it before you get in there. Be in yours. Walk within. When you see people in their fear and panic, don't judge them. Don't mock them. Don't step back in arrogance. That's ego again. Okay, watch your reaction, watch your words, watch your thoughts and feelings in those moments, because we do not want to be aligning to ego, which is fear. Ego is simply separation. It's separation of mind. It's separating the higher mind from the heart. That's what the ego represents. And now we're in the process of reconnecting all this into the one space again. So we have to be observing ourselves. Nobody else. It's how we are reacting in every situation. So when you see people in fear and in panic, their flame is less, their understanding is less, their consciousness is less. They're working through old systems which have been programmed, as we have all been programmed. No one's exempt here. We all came in through them in differing and varied ways. Our gift to them is to not send them the light, because we can't do that. Everyone's here still on the free will program. But to flame the whole supermarket, flame your whole home, flame your whole area, flame your community, flame your country, your state, flame the globe, okay? And we're doing it from love. We're doing it to assist, with the intention to assist all through this process. Because if we come from fear when we use the violet, I can tell you it just does not work, because it does not recognize that lower consciousness. You must be matching light frequencies for action and alchemy to take place, and for evolution to take place. That's the reality of energy. You can tell yourself whatever you like. You can talk yourself into whatever you want to say and justify however things might be for you. But the reality is that's your ego talking when you're justifying. Okay? Simple science states energy attracts like energy. So again, what you're putting out is what you will see. Be very observant of how you are traveling energetically, and do something about it. You have a choice. So as I said, walking through the corridor on Sunday, I just sent everybody that I saw, you could feel their energies, you could feel their panic as they're grabbing rolls upon rolls, and then other people are judging them and telling them to put rolls back and do this, and you can't have that. And I just sent everybody love. To the best of my abilities, collectively, I just sent everyone love. And their soul can take it or leave it. It doesn't matter. But at least I'm offering, and I'm allowing the greater spirit to flow through me, and there is no greater gift. And the tool for change, apart from the violet flame, which contains the pink ray within the amethyst ray, is simply the love ray. Love is our answer. What was the question? Now, I also want to speak about love. Because many years ago, when I've always been a diligent one for looking at fear, and I've been very harsh at times with myself to find it, and I've also been very loving to find it as well. But I've been very honest to be able to find it, because my mantra and my truth for me is I want to evolve to the highest level of consciousness that I can, be it here and have longevity and however long I'm meant to be here for, or to reach that state of consciousness when I cross over, I know I've given it my best shot. That's my role, okay? And whoever wants to join me, great, come for the ride. Don't expect everyone to be like that. But I remember years ago that I was challenged by many saying, you shouldn't be looking for fear, leave fear. I don't want to look for fear, I'll just be love. I'll just send love and I'll be love. That's great, okay? And I want to touch on this point now. Love, as I said, is absolute. But can I just say that many have actually misaligned the frequencies of love, and they've got very muddled with fear. Fear, there's been this big crossover between fear and love. And the love that I'm talking about isn't an emotion, and it's not hugging everybody, which now we're not allowed to, supposedly. But it's not just being nice and caring. And yes, we need to be giving, we need to be kind, we need those qualities. But please, let's not kid ourselves by just doing that, you're going to rise in your conscious evolution state. It ain't going to happen. Because while you still have lower frequencies within your cells, it doesn't matter how much here you might be telling yourself you're a kind person, you're a loving person, how much you might do, that might tweak it for a moment. But if you've got these very strong core fear-based beliefs, and we do, they are running the subconscious, and from the subconscious, they are running your show. And while they are present, they are dragging anything else down. So again, truthfully, energetically, we're kidding ourselves if we think we're going to evolve simply by being loving, nice beings. We have to be addressing our fear now, which is now why it's in everybody's face. You can't be running from this anymore, because this is simply the journey. We cannot take any lower frequencies. You will not get the gate pass through into 5D with fear in your cellular structure. You might be able to touch in it when you raise yourself well high and you've reached a threshold where you've reached a critical mass you can pass into. But if there's still fear you haven't accounted for, you'll come back down to resolve that before you truly enter the gateways of fifth dimension and remain as such in light and sound. So as I said, we're all on this transit now to 5D. So the games have shifted greatly. And I've also alluded in my post today, if you haven't read it, to be aware of the spiritualists around. And I'm not bagging anybody, this is not what it's about. But again, this is discernment for you and for me, okay? Because it's amazing the contracts we have to other souls. And I'm always fascinated how people, and you know, I get it absolutely, how many think that, well, this is my family, I should know them and we should be doing this together. Or how could I have a contact with someone that I don't even know? You know, well, we do, because it's at the soul level, okay? It's not at an ego, local, physical level. Let's really pull out of this physical game now. We're becoming unphysical now. This whole restructuring and rewiring and rematricing within us is actually accelerating our light fields now in our light bodies. So we actually will start to look taller and we will start to look lighter and we will have longevity and there will potentially be no death. Okay, when we're in full stream of 5D light force, we won't be dying. We won't be going through physical death processes any longer. Okay, so we're in this amazing transition period. So as I was saying, as we shift through, now I've probably lost my track of thought actually. As we start to, actually I might just stop here for a sec while I just get my center back again. Are there any questions to date? Please type any questions if anybody has got them. Oh, I know where I'm at. Put them through because I can see them on the screen and I will address them as best as I can when there's a bit of a break. But I really would love to hear your thoughts, okay? And especially on this part. So the spiritual side. There are many who have been teaching for a long, long time, okay? I'm not alone and I know that. And I'm humble and in my humility not to even think about those options. We're all doing our role. But again, there are many who at this stage, and that's where they're at, still are very aligned in ego. So there may be lots of incredible information that's coming through. And I'm not doubting the information that's gained. But how that's referenced or how that is projected is very important to discern for yourself. Because if anything is coming through a right or wrong attitude, that this is it and this is all there is and this is, you know, that's not okay and that's not right, my information's right, please walk away. There are so many avenues to the truth. There are so many aspects and layers of what truth is. And we are all multidimensional beings with facets available and we can reach and grab on many, many parts of what that truth is. But truth is love. And truth is without ego, always. It will never come from an aggressive, attacking, defensive, anger, you're right, I'm wrong, any type of imbalanced energy, fear. It is not truth. It is tainted. So be alert. Anything that doesn't sit in your heart space, that doesn't feel right, trust your intuition here. Okay, we have brain cells in our gut for a reason. If we miss it here coming through here, we gain it here, down in our solar plexus. So trust what you feel. Sometimes that can shift and change, okay? Sometimes it's a teaching. And I will honestly say that this week, I was in a situation with a soul who is a very well leading spiritual, massive following, I can tell you. And there was something that I just read and it was just an observation and it was just an adding to say, wow, have you thought about the violet flame? We can add this to it to assist all this energy that's being released and assist transmuting. And then I was returned with some very aggressive energy by this person. And I was very, I don't want to say attacked, that's not the right word, but I was heavily hounded that into a position where, you know, this is not true, that's not right, and this is basically what the answer is, and this is all there is, and that's the way it is. And it was just quite boom, boom. And it was really interesting because truthfully, as I came off that, I've been used to it. I don't comment much on anybody's places. I've just sat back. I often sit back and I just watch. But Spirit's been saying to me now, speak. It is time for you to speak and get through my fear of the ancient, where I was attacked and persecuted for this. So I am. And with that, in that moment, truthfully, I sat there and thought, wow. Whew. And I just felt the hit me. And I thought, and instantly handed that back. And then over the few days, there's been a couple of other comments that were like, oh, yes, you know, you've got the answers. We know from these people following. And I thought, wow, okay, no. So I sent this person love, and I sent the whole page love. And then I sat back and I looked at all my stuff, what came up with it, any tiny nuances, fear, tiny little bits of it, you know, I've got to acknowledge them. Because if there was a tiny little hiccup of fear in me, I have to acknowledge that, or I can't transmute. I can't keep moving forward to where I want to be. So I did. I acknowledged those little old fragments. I thought, yep, I can feel that. Yep, I felt that really deep within me. I'm just going to let that go. I'm just going to love it and bless it and allow that to be. And the minute you do that, things settle. The minute you stop fighting and resisting and ignoring and denying, the heart hears your truth of even when you say, man, I'm not enjoying this right now. Things are really bloody tough. The heart says, well, that's truth. That's your truth. And that is true for you. Acknowledge that. And that's why you feel better, because your vibration goes up. Okay. So we must keep being honest to keep transmuting and loving these energies back into the heart space. But at the end of it, and this is a really important point for everyone to remember too, because if you are having, you know, you're doing your light work. And if you know that people are reacting around you, please know that I know that my truth in that moment, and I stand by this absolutely, my truth in what I wrote was a real irritant, a real light to that person's ego in that moment, which is why she had to go on attack through defense. And it wasn't until I'd sort of worked out my stuff and I just transmuted first that then I could detach and step out to see the bigger teaching on offer. That's only for me to see. I'm not here to fix anybody else's journey. That's their stuff. I'm here for me, as you are for you, as I've said. That's what I truthfully, and what sat so peacefully in my heart was, you have just shined on someone's ego. And I can tell you, when you shine your light on another's ego, they will do everything. Ego within them will do everything to shut you down. So a lot of us, without that knowledge, start going into our old ego stuff and start knocking ourselves and berating ourselves and judging ourselves. Oh, what did I do? Oh, God, they can't think. I hate people when they talk to me like that. Oh, God, I feel terrible. Oh, I don't want to say anything anymore. And we do all this negative chat. Please be watchful of your reactions. They are as great a teacher, and that person's a teacher for me as I was to her in that moment, and so are yours. Okay, this is how you progress. There is no bad luck. There is no tragedies. There is nothing that you can't handle. There is nothing that presents before you that you have not created or co-created with whoever around you. This is the power you hold. And the minute we understand that is the minute we take charge of our power, and we can start making positive change with the power of our choice. Because you are not powerless. That is an old ego belief. That is something you have been programmed to believe deep within your cells over many, many lifetimes. That is now to change. Take your power back. Feel your being. Cut your ties, which frees the enmeshments of energy so that you can gain clarity. And as I said today, if you still need help, go to those who you know support you from a place of love that is truth. Okay? Now, I'm going to say this also. Some have heard it that might be watching, but I haven't said it out there very loud at all because people weren't ready to understand and hear it, to be honest. And many, many years ago, probably about 2007, my little one was only a babe and I was putting her to bed. I had been asking Spirit, as I do, ask away and you'll receive. I'd read about illusion. I'd read about all the illusion of this world. What did that mean? Because everything seemed pretty bloody solid to me, and I didn't quite get that. But I was understanding on the metaphysical side, the energetic side, how a cell, when we look at an electron, the majority of that is space. It's not solid. It's actually filled with nothingness and a lot of plasms, and really there's just the nucleus. So this is how, again, in truth, we're just a lot of space. We're not even solid. But I wanted to understand more so that I could marry, because this is me. I needed to understand in my being how physical and metaphysical came together. And I said, I don't understand illusion. Can you please show me what this really means? I get the concept, but I'm having it because I'm a bit thick sometimes. I need that physicality. I'm an experienced person. I need to know what that means in my world, what illusion is. And again, how we create the moment and how they offer it to us. My middle daughter was in bed. She was about 12 at the time. She's now 23. And she said, come and sit with me. She would never go to sleep. And I said, no, I'm tired, and I was tired. I just put the young one to bed, and I was exhausted, long day, blah, blah, that we do. And I was like, no, and I was fighting with her going, no, you're big enough, get yourself to sleep, no. And then all of a sudden, that part of my heart consciousness said, what are you doing? Go for the ride. So I thought, oh, okay, just surrender. And I just went, okay, I'm going to sit here for a minute, but I need you to go to sleep, and I'm not going to look at you, so you shut your eyes and go to sleep. So anyway, it used to take her ages to get to sleep. So within minutes, this was the weirdest thing, there was silence, and I thought, she's banging it on. She must be mucking around. And then I just gingerly turned to see what she was doing so she wouldn't wake up. And I thought, she's very quiet, her breathing's quiet. And she had asthmatic, she was a nasal breather, she had allergies, so that was pretty, obvious when she was breathing. I thought, she's too quiet. And I turned around and she was just gone. I thought, really? And I looked at her and I thought, and I poked her because I thought she's playing with me. She's out. When she goes out, she goes out. So I thought, wow. So then for those that are mothers, and maybe you've done it with other, family members or kids or wherever, and other times anybody, I sat with her and just felt this sense of peace, like, oh, wow, you're asleep. This is awesome. And then you look at your child and you think, oh, I love it when you're asleep. I love it when you're awake, but I love it when you're asleep. And I must have just gone into that state of nothingness. No head stuff, wasn't thinking about anything, was just in that moment of now. And then all of a sudden, her face just started disappearing. And I'm checking lights, and I'm looking around the room for any reason. I thought, what? Oh my God, you're tired. Looking at all those things we do. I looked back, she was there, complete. And I thought, oh, now I am losing it now. And I'd had some stuff I've had some big stuff over the years, I can tell you. So it's just another one of those moments. But as I looked at her again, she just disappeared down to her nose, and there was nothing on top but space and particles. And I looked again and I thought, oh, and I shut my eyes and I pulled back, and then she'd come back, and then I started to play a game. And I thought, right. So I would look, she'd disappear. I could move her in, I could come out. She would be in, out, in, out. I thought, this is just unbelievable. I'm in this, I'm awake, at the moment. And so then I looked around the room. I thought, well, if I can do that to you, what else can I do? What can you show me? So then I was seeing wardrobes disappear. I would see paintings half disappear. Then I'd bring them back. They'd be in, they'd be out, they'd be there. I thought, oh my goodness, they're showing me illusion. This is where nothing is truly real. We are just projecting thoughts that are creating this holographic image, just like a projector in front of us, almost like from Star Wars of R2-D2 as he projects the hologram from a central system. Here we have this illusion of reality, like a TV. The TV is not solid either. It's just particles coming together, giving the appearance of form. Bang, here's this now in my world. So the next step was my profound moment, and this is where my whole life changed for energy. I thought, okay, if you're an illusion, then I'm an illusion. So in this moment, I should be able to place my hand into where I perceive your head to be, and I should disappear into that void, into that timeline, wherever it be. So I did. And I lost my whole arm right up just to below my elbow as I'm in her head, above her nose, and we're just nothing. I had nothing but space. And then I pulled my arm out and I saw my arm appear, and I would do this. And at the same time now, I'm blessing my daughter for this incredible energetic moment in teaching. This is the illusion that all ancient text writes of. We are now coming into this grand understanding again, that we are not truly physical. This is how we are unbecoming human, and this is what the future will be. And truthfully, when we first arrive as the first prototypes of humans, so to speak, on this earth plane, many, 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 many lifetimes ago, in Lemuria, we were light. We knew that we could descend and manipulate our energies accordingly to come down into the denser fields, and where we could play, we could experience these incredible creations that we were doing, but we also had the knowledge and availability and the activation of all chakras and all strands of DNA and consciousness higher to accelerate our frequencies at will and pass back across the veil back into our rightful homes of energy. And so we were doing this to begin with. And as I said earlier tonight, the game of ego over many lifetimes, and particularly after Atlantis, densified profoundly. And it went down, and we devolved and devolved and devolved. And so this is why it's so difficult going back, because there's a lot of lower frequencies to transmute. But your violet flame is the key to that. And it's your intention and your will and your desire as well. Profound. And the time is ready for you to do that, and you'll be supported greatly by the benevolent ones all around you. Again, remember to ask for all assistance and guidance, and it's always there. And again, be aware of how that comes, because as ego, again, we tend to think it's going to come like this, like that, and over there. But no, usually if we're looking in this direction, it's going to come from over there. So we have to be very alert to keep detaching and to be open to however the moment presents, and however it presents, and who may present with it. So for those of you with frictious moments in time, and not only just this coronavirus, and I was trying to avoid this, I really didn't want to talk about this in particular, because there's so much being talked about. But the angle I want to bring in on this tonight is such. I had this very profound, well, for me, I thought it was, moment of, I'm always looking for mirrors. I'm always looking for signs. I'm always looking for whatever spirit is trying to show us on a higher level of what the real picture is. That's just what I love to do. And so here we are now being contained in our homes. We're being told that, you know, there's going to be these levels of containment. Here's this fear about being stuck in your home, and we're not going to get out, and we see all the supermarket stuff, as I said. But I looked at it and thought, you know, for me, my home is my house. It represents me. The rooms represent me. It always has. I look within the house's teachings back to me, how I can change things. My pool's been a huge teacher to me after the floods of late, and now it's pristine at the moment. So my waters are really flowing and beautifully, and I've worked hard to get them there again. But, you know, here's this moment where our home is our retreat. It's our castle. You know, my dad always said, this is my castle. And it's a space where we can feel safe. But it's also, for me, this mirror it's the greater picture is saying, go into your space, go into your home, not necessarily your physical house, but go into your home now yourself, and look at containing your energies of fear. Really have a good self-reflection. See what's happening outside of you that you are projecting by your thoughts and beliefs that you're witnessing, that you can now really start reflecting upon and letting go of, transmuting, and just breathing through to say, wow, and then watch the difference. feel the peace within you that, again, as you start to do that and you start to realize it's okay, and I can tell you truthfully, in truth, highest truth, because we operate on so many timelines and we've got so many parts of us in other beautiful, beautiful love-based timelines now. This picture is sorted. You know, we've actually made it. We're going to make it. Everything is fine. Nothing bad is going to happen out of this. And I see, you know, here's this incredible time where, like, you just look at Italy, and while they're being contained and supposedly separated, and that's ego again, ego separates everybody and divides and conquers, even though there's that distance between the population, so to speak, they're coming together in other ways. To see them sing, to see them caring, to see them talking, to see them, you know, most people wouldn't have done that in normal everyday living. We're too busy. We're too in our worlds. We're too structured. We're too thought heavy. We're too conscious in other ways of doing stuff. We don't have time to slow. Here's this incredible time to start slowing down, because we can't do this work while we're racing around and busy, because we're here, we're not here. So we have to be stilled somehow, and we've created this moment through this virus, through whatever, and yes, there'll be aspects of manipulation to this that'll be surfacing as well, but the bigger picture is this world now, for the first time, collectively, everybody is going through the same thing. Okay, so even in previous wars, there were still countries that were part of the globe, but they weren't affected. Okay, they were isolated, they were neutral, they were out of the way, they sort of were detached, they weren't part of it. But this particular moment, everyone is affected. So the paradox that I wrote of, again, spirit is a paradox. What you think is the opposite's happening. So while we might think the world is falling apart, it's actually in truth falling into place. It's falling into a greater energetic picture. It's falling into a higher energetic matrix that's going to support you in new systems. Now, as we move into greater, higher love-based systems, well, it stands to common sense that those old systems that were based from fear, power, greed, money, manipulation, and all lower frequencies must tumble. Just like your fear, the greater collective fear must crash too. And so we're going to see much dismantling, much chaos and confusion, because as energy breaks down from a fixed pattern, as it comes apart, it becomes like buzzing little cells and electrons, and they're all over the place, and it looks so chaotic and messy, and it is. Voila. Until it reorganizes and it restructures and it rematrices into a higher frequency pattern. And when in that frequency higher pattern, we have a new reality, because the higher vibration will attract at that level, not at this level. So we're going through a major purging process. We're going through a major dismantling process. And again, remembering the light is producing this, because the light is coming in and pushing this stuff to the surface, because we have to be conscious. We have to consciously transmute, each one of us, release this stuff. Now, which leads me to probably the next and last point, because we're going on for an hour. I'm so sorry, but I hope it's valuable information. The next part is death, because people are fearing death. Okay, as I said earlier, this is the ego's greatest fear. Its whole purpose is to maintain itself, to survive, and it fears death. And as humans, so have we, if we're being honest. Most fear the process of death, even if they say they don't. When the crunch is upon them, they fear it, it's there, and they will do everything to stay alive, because they haven't found that balance or the understanding that death cycles occur in us constantly, and where death is, rebirth occurs. The fires have not been a coincidence for us prior to this, to see how nature is already re-establishing herself, and she does. We can too. Okay? So the souls who are leaving have contracted to leave. There's no bad luck again. This is not unfortunate. This is not a tragedy. Truthfully, and I said today it might sound harsh to some, but this is the truth because we're greater than the physical. Your soul contracted to the date it arrived, it contracted to the date that it exits. There's nothing you can do about that. You go. So as with 9/11, if people remember 9/11, and I'm kind of seeing this particular virus sort of the last big world effect like terrorism started. So here's another level of fear coming up. But it took a while for people to work through that because they went deep into fear. But that's all dropped away now, hasn't it? Where did that all disappear to? I wonder. And here we have another one. So as we move through this, these souls, some will be leaving, and they'll be leaving in contracts to others. There'll be lessons attached. There'll be mirroring. There'll be teachings as they leave in the journey of leaving. They'll be given the opportunities to work through their fears, and many go through much of their fears at the closing minutes of their death before they pass. But as I said, there'll be much on the way of healing on the other side in the temples when they pass through. It doesn't stop. We keep moving. So allow these moments to take place. And also, the population will be culled, okay? Because of where we're going, many have actually chosen they don't want to be a part of this greater cleanse, this greater awakening moment, because they've found it difficult or they've chosen to do it in a different way. And that's okay because they're still going to do it. No one's exempt. So really, again, those of us that are here and choosing to stay here, as I've said for many, many times and years now, we're the maverick souls who've said, put our hand up, we can do. It's how we deal with it, how we find the positive strengths within us of our resilience, our love, our understanding, our companionship, our strengths, our, all those positive masculine and positive solar plexus qualities within us to forge us forward, coming together, finding our divine unity within of the feminine and masculine and seeing that without as well as the unity comes together and the consciousness comes together back as one heart, one mind, equality for all. And this is what we're going to witness now. The old days of hierarchical structures, power figures will be dissuaded. They'll be absolutely blasted free from here, no longer to be, because that energy didn't support love. It supported division, separation, hate, anger, whatever we gave it, whatever other energies attached. So anything that's less than love now does not stand. So if you're putting out your fear and creations, you're seeing them probably come back and hit you in the face because they're just coming back for reassessment, reevaluation, reprojection. Okay, all the re's, reset. So be kind to you, as I said. Hopefully this information will be of some assistance. There's nothing else that's sort of pouring into my head or heart at the moment to pass through, but I'm certainly going to have a couple of minutes now, and I'm willing, if anybody has a question or anything that needs to be discussed, please don't feel silly in asking, because your question might be, I don't know how many other people's, and it's important to, it clears you, it moves you forward as well. So I guess firstly, have you found the information useful or helpful to current events? I suppose that would be a good start. And you can type them in because I can see comments coming through. So I'll give it a couple of minutes and wait, and if there's no questions, then I'm happy to close off for the night. A lot of people I know have trouble visualizing the violet flame. It doesn't matter. Don't get caught up in stuff, okay? Do what serves you. Sage, go out in nature, go to your favorite place. Anything that raises your vibration is the positive, okay? Do what feels right to you. If you just carry crystals, my goodness, these are going to be getting big workouts and they're coming into their own. Plants, the colors you wear, these are all vibrations that assist you. Everything, oils, okay? Tuning forks, medicine bowls, drums, whatever, anything that resonates to you, that brings you that sense of, use it, okay? Use it, but truthfully, do be aware of what you're putting out into this greater atmosphere around you, because you will experience that what you are, and everyone is an extension of you. Everyone is your mirror, regardless of how much you don't want to hear that, be it positive or negative. Look for the positives. Let's find that glass half full. Absolutely. So you keep your vibration up, and as I said, with longevity, if your energies are high, okay, then you won't be attracting anything less than to your being. So maintain your homes, maintain your beings, okay? Trust in that, believe in it. If you doubt it, redo it. Do it until you can feel comfortable and you believe in what you're doing. That is the key for your intention, okay? Trust yourselves. And I'm absolutely here and open to be of any assistance where I can to anybody. So it doesn't look like there's any questions. Anyway, thank you all, whoever you are. Some I know, some I don't know. Thank you all very much for coming on. As I said, I hope this has offered a little something and can sort of steer you along for this incredible time that we're entering. And I am very excited. I know there's lots of stuff going on, but this is joy. This is joy for me because I know where we're going, and it's all good. It is all good. We just got, you know, a little bit of a ride to get there, but all is okay. All right. Well, take care, everybody. Love and light to everybody. Look after yourselves, and violet flame where you can. Okay. Take care. Bye.